Just wait for the ride here, guys.
That is a garbage can right there. Let's see.
So the panda bears couldn't adapt to her heat. So they didn't come to Jamaica. So the bamboos came instead. So we use the taller part of it to make our fishing rods. The smaller part, like this part, we strip the leaves from it, put our beads through it, and use it to make our necklaces and bracelets. Right. Take your time, we're going this way. Watch your steps, take your time. Don't be afraid to ask me to take pictures for you if you wish. I'm also a paparazzi, okay? Take your time. Alright, we're going to stand right in the middle. Just stand right.
They're not gonna be white. We're gonna have to wash. I know we clean. Oh, it's nice, guys.
And I'm afraid of this.
No.
Okay, my friends, what happened? This is the second method. The catamine method was the first method of getting sugarcane juice processed. But due to the mass production of sugarcane juice that was required back in those days, the catamine method couldn't work alone. So this is where the water wheel method comes in. So I'm going to try to explain the water wheel method and see if I get a better understanding of how it works back in those days. So what happened, that's called a grinder. That wheel here is called a grinder. So there has to be two grinders attached to this wall structure in the middle here. And if you notice, you see an iron axle going across. You see an iron axle going across? That way? There's an iron axle right there. It runs to a big wheel around the front. There has to be an opening at the top of the wall structure. When the grinder spins, a slave will put the sugarcane to the opening at the top and it grinds it. But what happened? The grinder couldn't work without the big wheel at the front, and the big wheel couldn't work. So when the juice is extracted from the grinder, it goes to the trough and gravity takes it over to the factory for processing. So instead of them carrying with their hands, it was an easier means of getting sugarcane juice processed over to the factory. Okay? All right, take your time. Let me assist you. Here's a bit steeper. Take your time. Here's a bit steeper. Take your time. You're welcome. Take your time. Take your time, my lady.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me help you, my lady. Here's a bit steeper.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. No problem. They can read along and sing along, okay? And let's see this big here. Yeah, they're ziplining and they're screaming. They say, oh my God!
Scream back.
Okay, this big wheel here. This big wheel is a brain box. This was the brain box of the old operation. This was the first water wheel that was built here in Jamaica. The equipment of this water wheel came from Glasgow, Scotland. When Mr. John Top bought this water wheel, he didn't ask anyone to put it up for him. And this water wheel came in 1769, 2 years after Mr. John Top bought the land. So he didn't ask anyone to put up this water wheel for him. He was also an engineer. So Mr. John Top and his slaves, they put up this water wheel together. And it's actually an undershock water wheel. Anyone knows what an aqueduct is? Aqueduct is a water channel that channels water. So let me show you the aqueduct right here. So everyone can go at the same time, but some people go and look and then they come back. Then go there. So there's the aqueduct, the water channel. There's a channel. If you notice, in the center, it is in the center between the wheels. All right.
And that was your motor.
All right.
For the grinder.
So what happened now? What happened? There's a dam 2 miles up. Don't go back anymore, sir. There's a hole there, okay? All right. There's a dam 2 miles up. What happened? When they opened the dam back in those days, the body of water be rushing heavily through here. When it rushes through here heavily, what happened? It hit the bottom of the big wheel. And then the big wheel would spins and generates energy to the grinders around there, and it grinds the sugar cane. And the juice extract and goes in the trap and go there. On the iron rails, trap will be on the iron rails and go to the factory for processing. So that's how it worked back in those days. That was the water wheel method of getting sugar cane juice processed. Everyone understands? Any questions? Any answers? All right. Also, what happened? Mr. John Thorpe, he was one of the better plantation owners back in his time. It was against the law for slaves to learn to read and write. But he thought differently. He said his slaves should be educated, be well fed, and be healthy. So what happened in 1798? He built a slave school, a slave hospital, a doctor's residence for his slaves. On other plantations, after slaves finished working, they used to have to go back to their dungeons in their shutters. Mr. John Thorpe didn't do that to his slaves. He gave all of them a piece of land on his property. So after they finished working, they go to their families to live in the thatches. So one day the slaves were like working and like they were comparing Mr. John Top with the other slave masters. And they were saying, wow, this guy is very good to us. There must be hope. So that's how the name Good Hope came about. That's how the plantation name came about. So the way Mr. John Top treated the slave give the name Good Hope. He was a very smart man too, because if your person working for you, treat them well, your production in your pocket will be higher. So he became one of the wealthiest sugarcane plantation owners here in Chilona. He owned 9 plantations, 6 water wheat. Okay, the rain. Rain. These stones, I'm going to talk as we go on. These stones are called ballast stones. Ballast stones came here from England. What happened? After they used to use the rum, sugar, and molasses, the byproducts of sugar cane, in the August to balance the ship to go to England. When they take up the cargoes of rum, sugar, and molasses, they use these stones to balance the ship to come to Jamaica. So that's how these ballast stones got here. Most of our ancient buildings are built by these stones. But guess what? Back in those days, no one knows what cement was. So in order to get these buildings together, they used to use the animal dung, the animal here, the dry grass, the trash. After they just sugar cane, mix it in the molasses and the white lime. They mix everything together to get the place to hold these buildings. And most of these buildings are still standing today. So you know what we always say? Sweetie and stinky mixed together, get a great combination. And also, this is called a keystone. Keystones were like the backbones of the buildings back in those days. Keystones were invented by the Romans. That was what held up the buildings. So if you remove those keystones, you know what would happen to the building? Fall down. Okay, my friend, let's go.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yes.
It's not the last time. I got it, thank you. It's not the last time. Coming back, if we come back and go zip lining and all this and that. And never.